slightly higher batting average. And what a welcome for Milwaukee. Of course, you have fireworks tonight, Ken Griffey Jr.'s induction into the Hall of Fame tomorrow. And how about this? Bill Kruger, a former Brewer, in the booth with our Dave Sims. Guys?
All right, Angie, thank you. It is indeed a full plate weekend here in Seattle as it concerns the Seattle Mariners. Dave Sims, Billy Kruger, good to have you here, pal.
Thanks, Dave.
Let's talk about this weekend, what it means here for Seattle from your standpoint.
Well, I think it's incredible. This guy was a one-of-a-kind player, maybe one of the great, certainly maybe not the greatest, but one of the greatest of all time. Certainly turned the course of baseball in Seattle. What a privilege it was, not only to play with him, but just to be a fan of Mariner baseball with Ken Griffey Jr. on the field.
Let's talk about these Mariners for right now. One guy starting to pick it up, power department, Justin Smoak. Good to see him raking the ball the other day, hit a ball off the fence, missed a home run by a couple of feet, a big two-run double.
Yes, he did. He did that right-handed, and earlier he hit the knuckleball off of Ari Dickey way back. I mean, this guy is starting to sort it out. Since July the 1st, hit .321 with 5 homers. His average up to .273, hitting well over .300 against left-handed pitching. Right-handed pitching has been a problem, but how about that missile he hit on the day game on Wednesday to drive in a run there. That was big in the comeback, and of course Justin seems to be more comfortable in his own skin. His swing seems shorter, and of course a very smooth operator at first base.
And he does have tremendous power, maybe starting to realize some of the potential we've been waiting for. Pitching-wise tonight, a couple of guys who are throwing the ball well. Kyle Loesch, 2-0 with a 1.13 over his last 4. And Joe Saunders has pitched well over his last 8 starts.
Yeah, I think Joe Saunders, a big turn for him was the commitment to the changeup. You go back to that 29th of May when he started to throw it, and the mix changed. He changed speeds. He started to pitch more, taking something off in fastball situations. Those 13 turns, he's taken it into the 7th 8 times. He's given up 1 run or less 6 times. He won his last turn. He had to really work in Baltimore in the heat, 115 pitches, won the ball game. Now, this guy's been a nice difference maker, nice innings hitter in the middle of the rotation, and has learned to become more of a pitcher.
Kyle Loesch, 16-3 with the Cardinals last year. He's having a lot of success with this Milwaukee club, which is in last place in the NL Central.
Yeah, pretty good that he's able to do that. This guy, of course, 7th in the Cy Young voting last year. He won 16 games, first in starts and winning percentage. The guy can flat out pitch. A 5-pitch pitcher with immaculate control. Controls the strike zone. 13 years. He's been around a long time. And you're going to see a guy that has a really good mix of breaking balls. And his fastball sneaker and better than people think.
Coming up tonight, Joe Saunders will be pitching to his 7th Mariner catcher this season. And the guy who gets to start tonight, Humberto Quintero, has been outstanding in his limited duty. How about this home run the other day? A 2-run jack on Wednesday. Maybe he'll get some more of that action coming your way here tonight. Ken Griffey Jr. weekend underway here in Seattle. It's the Brewers and the Mariners' first pitch straight ahead.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford. We are local. By Safeco Insurance. Do more. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting Cage Sport Mixed Martial Arts, August 24th. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com. I'm not really sure if you can see Safeco Field from Gasworks Parks. Hi, everybody. Angie Mentank here at the Ford Sports Desk. Coming up tonight throughout the game, we were going to look in and around the AL West. And by the way, A-Rod makes his first start of the season at home. What kind of welcome did he get? Oh, we'll let you know. And coming up after the game tonight, just in case you can't get down here to Safeco Field, that's okay. We have got you covered because they have got a special Hall of Fame fireworks show coming up after tonight. We will carry the fireworks live, and it's my understanding they have something really special in store for the newest member of the Mariners Hall of Fame, Ken Griffey Jr. For more on the man of the hour, I guess I can't really call him the man of the hour, Brad Adam. Maybe more like the man of the sundial, like the weekend.
Yeah, the next 72 hours.
Yeah.
Ange, thank you very much. Yeah, they kicked off the Hall of Fame weekend today with a luncheon here at Safeco Field. Coming up at the postgame show, we'll recap that. Jay Buhner spoke. He tried to get Junior to cry, but Buhner was the one who ended up getting emotional. We're also going to hear from Junior. We sat him down afterwards and asked him about the impact he had in Seattle and also about Seattle's impact on him. Admitted that he's nice and calm today, but will be nervous for the Hall of Fame induction speech tomorrow. Of course, we will be carrying the Hall of Fame induction live tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock. But as we turn our attention to baseball now, Game 1, Brewers and Mariners coming up. First pitch and lineups are next with Dave and Bill. Keep it here on Root Sports.
What more could we ask for? Spectacular weather. We've got fireworks coming up later on tonight, and it's Ken Griffey Jr. weekend as he goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Brewers in town. This is Mariner Baseball. Dave Sims and Bill Kruger. Glad to have you with us here at Safeco Field on another gorgeous Friday night. It'll be Joe Saunders against Kyle Lushin leading off for the Brewers. Marichka Aoki, 280 hitter, 6 homers, 25 runs batted in. Brewers come in last place in the National League Central. First pitch by Joe Saunders. Yanking for strike one. .75 degrees. This one popped up out of play.
Dave, Aoki is a really tough guy to strike out. He's only struck out like 26 times in 480 at bats. So, and it doesn't matter. Left-handers he hit well over 300 against. So he's going to be a tough start for Saunders.
Joe Saunders, the 0-2. Strike three call. Rung up by Dan Bolino, the home plate umpire. Take a look at the rest of the Brewers batting order.
This is the lineup. Ron Renneke is running out tonight. Leading off in right field, Aoki. Segura leading the league in hitting, will be at shortstop hitting second. Jonathan Lucroy will take a day off from catching and hit third. Carlos Gomez, the all-star, in center. Chris Davis in left. Betancourt is back in town. He's at first base. The Yankee will be your third baseman. Scooter Gennett at second. And Martin Maldonado will do the catching for the Brewers this evening.
Fouled off by all-star shortstop Gene Segura.
Well, here we go. We take a look at Joe Saunders' numbers, and they have grown and grown and grown. 7-5 since the big turnaround, the 29th of May, and you see the rest of the combination of numbers. He's got to have good fastball command, get ahead, use his off-speed pitches to have a good evening.
This last couple of starts, Bill, we noticed he wasn't getting that pitch on the corners, and then consequently had to put it in the hitting zone, and he got hurt a few times. Here's an 0-2 pitch. Strike three call. Joe Saunders. Great start. With a quick exit by Segura. He knew it. 2 outs.
Let's take a look at what the defensive Mariners are going to be thrown out there this evening. In the outfield will be Abana, Saunders, and Morse. Left, center field, and right. And our usual in the infield, Seager at third. Brad Miller's your shortstop. Nick Franklin at second. Big Justin Smoke, the smooth operator, at first. Humberto Quintero will be your catcher, working along with Joe Saunders this evening.
Jonathan Lucroy DHing tonight. Generally their everyday catcher getting a break today. 7 pitches, 7 strikes, 2 strikeouts, looking for Saunders to get tonight going. This is a team, Bill, we were talking about before the game, decimated by injuries. Ricky Weeks just went down with a hamstring. He's out for the rest of the season. You know about Braun. He's on a PED list. He's suspended for the rest of the year. Corey Hart, their first baseman, blew out both knees. Ramirez has had problems, a sprained left knee. So they've gone from their 3-4-5 hitters from a year ago, 98 home runs, down to 14 this year.
The tub is crowded, Dave. There's no more room.
Boy, oh boy.
But that's really taken the heart of their lineup right away.
Drive to deep left center field. Long run for Abana, nearing the track. The center fielder, though, Saunders is there to make the catch. Very efficient inning by Joe. 8 pitches, make that 10 pitches to get his first 3 outs. Mariners coming to bat. Brad Miller going to get things started for the Mariners on Wednesday. Led off with an infield hit, scored on the Nick Franklin triple. Let's see if they can create that magic again. Here's the rest of the Mariner batting order.
Time now for our Mariners starting lineup, brought to you by Chevron. Brad Miller will be leading off at shortstop. Nick Franklin's your second baseman hitting second. Seager, the mainstay, third base hitting third. Morales, who's been hot since the break, 390 to your DH. Michael Morse healthy in right field. Abanez in left. Smoke down the order, but hitting well at first base.
Brad Miller pretty much on cue, swings at the first pitch, and making a play in fair territory is Gene Segura, one down.
Take a look at Renick's defense today. Chris Davis in left, Carlos Gomez, the all-star in center. Aoki will be your right fielder. On the infield, Jeff Bianchi at third base. Gene Segura leading the league in hitting. Scooter Gennett, your second baseman. Yuniesky Betcourt over at first base. Plays all over the place. The catcher will be Malton Maldonado, and of course, the pitcher this evening, Kyle Loesch.
There's Nick Franklin, 1 for 4 on Wednesday. Strike one to Nick. It's good to see him get that first major league triple, first at bat Wednesday. That broken 0 for 27 for him. Now he can come back the other way, right, Bill?
Absolutely. That's the game of baseball.
Fly ball center field. Ranging over is Carlos Gomez, all-star center fielder, 2 down. Umpires for tonight working home plate is Dan Bellino. Bruce Dreckman's at first, Corey Blazer at second, and Tim Welke, the crew chief, he's at third. Bring up Kyle Seager, face Kyle Loesch. Loesch, good year last year with the Cardinals, 16-3. Loesch, a veteran guy, 6 years with Minnesota, 5 with the Cardinals, 2 in Cincy, 1 in Philadelphia, now his first year with Milwaukee. Strike one to Kyle, coming off a 1 for 5 game on Wednesday. Scored a run, drove in a run.
What I like about Seager is that he was a really good player last year, but he's a better player this year. He's better defensively. He's a better hitter. He's using more of the field. He made a nice adjustment in where he sets his hands. He's a little quicker to the baseball. And he's pushing 300, folks, and we're into August. This guy's a legitimate chase at the 300 batting average.
Some gets out of play. Starts tonight at 294. Second on the team to Kendrys Morales at an even 300.
Plus, he's no nonsense. He comes to play every day.
Indeed.
He's a ball player with a capital B.
Mariners hits leader, 129, 1 ahead of Morales. Doubles leader, actually second to Morales in doubles, 27-28. The 1-2. Bill and I had the pleasure of being at the King Griffey Jr. Hall of Fame luncheon today. It was outstanding, and we look forward to more tomorrow. We'll have a full house here tomorrow at Safeco Field. Festivities begin at 5:30. We encourage you to get here early. Full coverage will begin here on Root Sports at 5 p.m. Seager swinging a miss, and he's gone. So both starters off to a nice beginning here. 8 pitches for Loesch. Nothing across for the Mariners. Second inning coming up. Sunday afternoon. Felix takes the mound against these Brewers at 1:10. Get your yellow T-shirt, Kate card, plus a seat in the King's Court. Cheering the Mariners ace for only $35. For tickets, join the court. Log on to mariners.com/Felix. Love when we go around the rest of the American League. We see Seattle fans in the ballpark with their bright yellow Seattle King's Court T-shirts.
It's truly unique in baseball. That is one cool promotion that's really got some.
Yeah.
Got a great little effect on.
Got legs. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger, Mike Blowers with the night off. Here's Carlos Gomez, 0-1. Sharp first inning for Joe Saunders. 10 pitches to get 3 quick outs, including 2 Ks.
Lock some people up with fastballs. I think they're looking for him to change speeds there.
Center field for Saunders, broke back, but no problem coming in. 1 out. Great crowd here tonight. Fireworks, second time. Be putting on a Mariners fireworks show. Mariners big theme tonight. Some of the great moments in Mariner history. I'll bring up Chris Davis. Chris Davis, not much of an arm in the outfield, but he can go cover it. You can tweet us your favorite junior place to the hashtag on your screen right now. We'll show the winning plays coming up tomorrow. Saunders has had a great run here in this ballpark. A career record at Safeco Field, 11-4. Breaking ball off the plate. So he's 5-4 this year.
Take a look at that hard-working performance that he put up on Sunday in a warm Baltimore game, and 115 pitches over 6. He was Dick Tracy deluxe in that game.
Seager throws across to retire Chris Davis, 2 down. Brings up a familiar face, Yuniesky Betancourt. He's at first base, his second tour of duty with the Brewers.
And he went to Philadelphia, got released, and then came back over to Milwaukee.
First time in his career playing at first base this year. A lot of action over there.
Yeah, he's played all over the infield, not at short. Segura at short, he's playing every day. So, but here's a guy that's found versatility to keep him in the league.
Betancourt linked with Endy Chavez when both were with this club. Is that Alvin Davis? It is. Mr. Mariner at the end talking to Endy Chavez. And Endy at left field came in to get a ball, and Uni never heard him say I got it, and ran into Uni and blew up his knee. It blew up Endy's knee, and he was out for a significant time, and since moved on a couple of times. Of course, now back with the Mariners.
Really a great comeback by Endy. Real test of perseverance for him to overcome that injury, come back and play, I think, at a very high level. He's done a great job this year for the Mariners. And I mean, Yuniesky Betancourt, you kind of look at him out there, you're like, oh, he's a nice sized player. I'll tell you what, you get up close to that guy's built like a running back in the NFL.
Exactly.
So he's going full speed. You get hit by that, it's not going to be good.
Endy's giving up some size there. That one held on by Quintero. Uni can't believe it. How about Joe Saunders? 13 pitches here in the second inning. 6 up, 6 down. No score at Safeco Field. Morales to lead it off here in the second. Morales, Morse, and Ibanez against Kyle Lohse. Morales 2 for 2 against Kyle. Good looking breaking ball, strike one.
Boy, this guy has had a great year, Dave. I mean, he has been so good in the clutch, and he is a tough customer with runners in scoring position, that's for certain.
My impression, we talk about it every day, he is always ready to hit.
Yeah, he's a crafty hitter. He can look bad on a ball, and you try to repeat it, and he smears it off the wall.
Able to hold up there.
But, you know, he gives you the dimension. He can hit from both sides. He can hit off-speed pitches. He's smart. He can turn on a fastball. He gets you whatever you need in a particular situation. I mean, a lot like Edgar in that regard. I'm not trying to build him up to that level, but he's a quality hitter.
Betancourt makes the play. 1 down. 4 up, 4 down. Cheesehead's in town. Ricky Weeks, of course, is on the disabled list. Matter of fact, today they announced he's done for the season. And I know when I go to Green Bay to do games, to see everybody, so many people watching. I wear no CenturyLink link to what's next. Tom Gorzelani, the former National and Pittsburgh Pirate, takes on Masashi Iwakuma. He's having a sensational year. 10-5 with a 2.75 ERA.
Real good pitching matchup, and every time Iwakuma goes out there, it's a real lesson on how to pitch.
Strike one to Michael Morse. 7 for 15 with a homer and 5 runs batted in against Kyle Lohse. Like, of course, last few years in Washington. Lohse with the Cardinals for 5 years.
Talking to one of the coaches for the Brewers, Jerry Narron, saying that he thinks one of the big losses was the Nationals missing Mike Morse in that lineup. That has put more pressure on their other guys. Even though he hasn't been healthy here, it's something noticeable with those guys over the National League to know how good a player Morse is.
The Narron brothers, that's Ron Renicky on the left, Jerry Narron to your right. Johnny Narron comes over from Texas a couple years ago. Rich Kranitz was with Baltimore. As Morse strikes out. 2 strikeouts now for Lohse. Jerry Narron, he'll be happy to see Ken Griffey Jr. He managed him for a brief time in Cincinnati. So Kyle Lohse, 2 quick outs here in the second inning. He'll face Raul Ibanez. Raul 9 for 33 against Kyle with 3 home runs. Lohse looks sharp, Bill. You can appreciate that. Good start here, first 2 innings.
Yeah, he's got good movement on his fastball, painting both sides. Shows you a real good breaking ball. He's just ahead in the count. He's operating like a surgeon out there.
Terrific breaking ball there.
Talking to pitching coach Rich Kravitz, he was saying that Lohse's curveball surprised him. It's a lot better than he thought it was, and he says a lot of hitters don't realize this guy throws 92, 93. They think it's just kind of a walk in the park, that he's a soft tosser.
Didn't sign till right before regular season. He and Michael Bourne of Cleveland, a couple of free agents out there. Respectable numbers for Raul in interleague. Here's 1-2.
Nice job of exploring the upper half of the zone. That's where he beat Seager for the first strikeout in the first inning.
Went upstairs to beat Raul. So 6 up, 6 down for Kyle Lohse, matching Joe Saunders. No score here at Safeco Field. Being brought to you by Sterling Bank. Nobody works harder for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. By Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by BNSF Railway, the engine that connects us. Good walking and rollerblading up in the Sculpture Park by Elliott Bay. Jeff Bianchi, third baseman, leads off.
A lot of these guys getting chances, Dave. This is one of them, Bianchi, over at third base, normally occupied by Aramis Ramirez, whose power is sorely missed by his Brewer ball club.
Again, significant losses by the Brewers. You know about Ryan Braun, suspended from baseball. Ricky Weeks, a hamstring. Corey Hart, both knees. Ramirez, the sprained left knee.
Just a quick sap of 98 home runs. Talking about last year, 3, 4, and 5. Just the trap door opens and they're not there anymore. Tough to overcome.
The center field for Saunders. That's a tough way to run an airline. Saunders has retired the first 7. See a lot of those tomorrow. The number 24 here at Safeco Field. Junior's mom and dad and family are here, wife and kids. His oldest son. Wide receiver at the University of Arizona could not make it. Rich Rodriguez's club. Full swing here, getting ready for the Pac-12 season. Schooner Gannett.
And Junior's pumped up for football. Let me tell you. You can't get him to stop talking about it.
His daughter, who's an outstanding point guard, going to Arizona as well. Here's Nick Franklin. Throws high, and Smoke has to go up and get it. Bad throw. And E4.
Nick sits over in good position here. Able to square up the baseball. Whether he had time to take a step or not, he threw off balance, and that's why the throw goes high, and even the big fellow over there can't keep his foot on the base.
Ninth error by Franklin. Brings up the catcher, Martin Maldonado. Maldonado from Puerto Rico. His mentor, Yadier Molina, and the rest of the Molina brothers. So learned a lot about catching from those guys.
Yeah, that's a
very, very solid behind the plate.
Wealth of information there for sure.
Two 2-0.
There's some pretty efficient pitching right there. 20 strikes out of 32. Saunders throwing the ball really good.
Bouncing ball, that's fair. Bobbled by Seager. Throw across. Smoke gets by him. There's some sliding to the dugout. Sloppy defense by the Mariners. So second and third. So a base hit, E5 on the advance.
This ball had some topspin going down the line. Looks like Kyle is there. Just didn't quite get a handle on it. He tried to recover and then had to hurry his throw, and really no chance for Smoke. Really, it's a tough chance. He's usually pretty good at blocking balls, but that was handcuffed him.
Not been a good week. Tuesday, the Mariners committed 4 errors, and right now Joe Saunders, you as a pitcher, Billy, he's probably after trying to calm himself down, right?
Well, I always thought as a pitcher that more times than not, my defense picked me up, and I kind of looked at this as an opportunity. I have an opportunity here to pick up the defense for the rank and file guys to like me.
Good point.
Because I wasn't a guy that struck out a ton of guys, so I needed defense, and they normally picked me up.
Oki Aoki, huge star in Japan, played with Ichiro in the World Baseball Classic team. Slices one into the gap, lots of trouble. That'll score 2. Bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. And the error has proved to be costly. Aoki doesn't waste any time. His 16th double, his 26th and 27th RBIs. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Saunders pretty much handled Aoki with fastballs. This time it's the slider. Aoki doesn't mess around, goes the other way. We mentioned that he hits well over 300 against left-handed pitching. Well, you can see why. Slider up in the strike zone, great stroke. Ball has eyes into the alley, hit well, and a couple runs on the board for the Brewers.
Should have been out of the inning. Instead, 2-0 Milwaukee. Brings up Gene Segura.
This guy's having a great year, Dave, and it was really a total surprise to Ron Renick and the Brewers. He came over the Greinke trade. He hit like 280, a lot of infield hits last year. And then, boy, he's come on like gangbusters this year.
With room, here's Morris with the catch, a throw to third. Not in time. 2 outs. Tomorrow, the 7th member of the Mariners Hall of Fame, Ken Griffey Jr., will be inducted in a special pre-game ceremony here at Safeco Field. Festivities begin here at 5:30, so get here early. For those who can't make it to the ballpark, make sure you watch the ceremony live here on Root Sports or Mariners.com, or tune into your local station on the Mariners radio network. This place is going to rock. Remember my first year, I think, or maybe it was the second year when Junior was with Cincy, he came back here, and this place was awesome for 3 days. Just like it had been back in Junior's heyday here with the Mariners. Jonathan Lucroy, the hitter.
If my memory doesn't fail me, he delivered as well.
Yeah, he did.
A couple of home runs.
Yeah.
He went one to right and one to left, if I recall. Not a surprise.
No. I think he had a home run Friday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Lucroy flied out to center in the first inning.
This guy's second in the major leagues in home runs by a catcher, even though he's DH in tonight. So he's a big power component for this Brewer ball club.
Chris Gomez, 18 home runs. Lucroy, 16. Two. Saunders was breezing along. Retired the first 7 men that he had. A ground ball off the bat of Gannett. Error by Seager. And next thing you know, a 2-run double by Aoki. Brewers on top. This one popped up short center field. Long run coming in is Saunders. He'll take care of it, and that'll do it. With 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, and a man left. We got a big reunion we want to show you when we come back here with the Brewers lead at 2-0. reunion before the game. The Kitchens family lining up with the umpires, and then they had a surprise. Technical Sergeant Donald Kitchens, just back from Turkey the last 15 months, much to the surprise of his wife Anna, his son Caleb, who's 4 years old, and daughter Allie, who's 19 months old. Their new post, they're going to be moving to F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Wyoming. So great to see them here. I love how Major League Baseball does a great job during these times. Almost every ballpark, every game, somebody from the armed forces is saluted.
As well they should be.
No question. It's Justin Smoke. Talked about him in the pregame show. He's got a 1-1 count. Just, I think the question, if you're a Mariner fan sitting at home, is this for real? Is this something we can believe in, what he's been doing lately?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I think he's had an extraordinary opportunity. I mean, 1,400 plus at bats. I mean, there's a lot of guys at AAA would die for that opportunity, but I think the Mariners are starting to see the results. Justin is hitting with more confidence. He's a little bit short of the baseball, which was my big concern. His swing was so long. He already could play first base. We knew that. But getting shorter to the ball, that's really, and he's being more aggressive early in the count. And he's starting to see some results.
Got an 8-game hitting streak working, and a favorable count here at 3-1. And he'll take ball 4. A leadoff walk. That ends the run for Loesch. He had retired the first 6 men that he faced. It's a guy, you were talking about it before the game. He doesn't walk a lot of people. Last year, 38 walks with the Cardinals in 211 innings.
Yeah, fourth in the National League last year. Walks per 9, 1.62. He's a control artist.
There's Michael Saunders. And on the button and eats up Scooter Gennett. First and second, here come the Mariners. That is a base hit. What a rocket off the bat of Michael Saunders.
Why mess around? Get that first fastball and go to Hackett. This ball is hit right on the screws by Michael. Gennett's got no chance. Just a quick ole is all he had a chance for.
Mariners battle back. Go to the 9 hole. You see Michael smiling down there. Humberto Quintero. How about this veteran guy? 3 for 6 on the homestand. He's got a 5-game hitting streak working.
He was the guy that brought him all the way back on Thursday with that home run.
Based on the bunt but foul. Strike 1.
Excuse me, Wednesday.
But yeah, the Mariners, they were leaking oil early. They were down 7-2. Got a run in the 4th, 6 in the 5th. And the capper was the 2-run homer, and there was nothing cheap about it. Hit it into the Mariners bullpen. To right field, backing up Aoki, makes a catch. Both runners hold.
No shame in that. Quintero hitting that breaking ball right on the button. Bad aim.
Don't forget, everybody, you can tweet in your favorite Ken Griffey Jr. moment, and we will have your favorite pieces of video coming up tomorrow. As Ken Griffey Jr. is inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Brett Miller's going to stand in. And Jr. will be eligible to go into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown in 2016. Randy Johnson in 2015. I told you earlier that Ken Griffey Jr.'s son Trey missed this weekend. The Jr. said he knows to keep that weekend late July 2016. It's open.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, it's not going to be first ballot.
What's that?
It's going to be first ballot.
Better
right?
be. And not only that, it'll be first ballot. I think what that question will be unanimous. It should be. How do you not vote
unanimous?
For that?
Exactly. I guess that's where I was. That's
right?
where my thinking was. Yes.
How do you not vote for that guy unanimous? I mean, come on.
It's only those guys with the really old typewriters that we have to worry about. Those guys. I remember Rogers Hornsby.
Still working the old Underwood typewriter. Clank, clank, clank. 2-1 to Brad Miller. I know my thinking has changed on this since I got into the business. I knew a lot of those guys back in the day.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth, those guys didn't go in first ballot. No. Come on, stop. Jeez. Miller slaps it right by the third baseman, Bianchi. Mariners have him loaded up with 1 out. Nice job by Brad Miller. Second hit this inning for the Mariners.
Boy, real nice piece of hitting a sinker away. Brad doesn't try to do too much with it, just goes with it. Hits a nice hard ground ball single to the left side.
Miller beginning the second time around against Kyle Lohse to bring up Nick Franklin. Nick would fly out to center. Franklin with 33 runs batted in. And there are his numbers. With the bases loaded and a great opportunity. Bases loaded with 1 out.
Put a little number on the Houston Astros after the break with the bases loaded.
Slow ground ball, charging Betancourt. They get the out at the plate. 3-2 on the play. Everybody else moves up. Fielder's choice for Franklin.
Franklin just rolls over the top of this, and you've got basically a shortstop playing first base in Betancourt. He can make that play on the run easily.
2 down here in the third. We'll leave it up to Kyle Seager, who excelled in these 2-out situations a year ago. Third only to Miguel Cabrera and Andre Ethier in 2-out RBIs.
Pretty good company.
Strike 1 on Kyle. Those 2 guys brings up the 2 of the hottest teams in baseball. Detroit entering today having won 12 in a row. And the Dodgers had a 15-game road winning streak.
The Dodgers have been something else.
Unreal.
Puig got them going, and then they got healthy, and wow, they're playing some baseball.
Dodgers trail Tampa Bay right now in LA 3-0 in the third. 0-1 here to Seager. In tight. Ball 1. Yankees leading Detroit top 9 3-1. Shift on against Kyle Seager. Only Bianchi on the left side. Check down to third. Tim Welke did not go. 2-1. Mariners have the bases loaded again. Michael Saunders, he's at third. At second, Brad Miller. Nick Franklin, he's at first.
Boy, this conventional wisdom of the big shift against Seager on the infield. I mean, I'm not buying it, Dave. Personally, I think this guy has the ability to hit the other way, but the shift is it's fashionable.
Last 3-4 teams we've seen have done it. Ooh, called out strike. 2-2.
Little gift there. Ball's off the plate.
Kyle's got a battle here with 2 strikes.
Exposed him up and in for the strikeout in the first. He's trying to pitch him hard in. He started him soft, then go hard late. We'll see if that's where Lohse wants to go again.
Base hit will tie it up. 2-2. Slap foul.
Backdoor slider down the middle.
We got Miller, good speed at second base, and Franklin's a fast runner at first. Gap one, he can cha-ching for 3 runs here. Two and 2. Base hit up the middle. Saunders scores. Here comes Mellick. Ball gets by Gomez. They'll hold Franklin at third. Tie ball game as Kyle Seager on a 2-2 pitch singles to center. We got a brand new ball game.
Boy, that was a real battle right there that Seager won. Loesch had tried pretty much everything with him. Slow curveball to start, cutters, fastballs, backdoor slider. Here's the changeup. And boy, Kyle just keeping his hands back, thinking up the middle of the field, able to stay back and line this ball to center. Carlos Gomez, in true Brewer fashion, last in the National League in defense, unable to handle the baseball, allowing the Mariners to get that second run across.
So the E8 allows Franklin to third. So runners at the corners for Kendrys Morales, who's 7th in the league. Runners in scoring position, batting average. There he is, hacking away, strike one. Good hitter trying to do some quick damage here. 2-2 ball game.
Great spot with the right guy, Mr. Clutch.
0-2. Two here to Morales.
Making Mr. Loesch work a little bit. He had a kind of easy breezy first couple of innings, but not in the third.
Trying to make him pay for it here. Breaking ball hit to Gannett. And he'll throw over to Betancourt for the out. But the Mariners tied on a 2-out, 2-2 pitch. Kyle Seager, Dave Niehaus would love to be here. Countless times he said my oh my to the exploits of Ken Griffey Jr. Cooperstown in 2016, and we both are strong advocates, and I'm sure everybody listening and watching us, that Junior should be unanimous. Well, the highest percentage of votes from the baseball writers, George Thomas Seaver back in '92 went in at 98.84%, and only 4 other guys went for 98% or better. Nolan Ryan, Cal Ripken, Ty Cobb, and George Brett. 2 unanimous guys. It was from the Negro League Committee. Josh Gibson and James T. Cool Papa Bell. But we're talking about regular players. Here's a pitch swung through by Gomez. Junior should be the first 100% guy. End of story. Good night, everybody.
It's time for that to change. It's like you talked about, Dave. You know, we've moved on. It's the 21st century. we got to get over this curmudgeon approach to, like, nobody's unanimous. There's nobody. Come on.
Gomez, first time up, fly to center. A couple of unearned runs in the third. Mariner defense got sloppy. Brewers took advantage. A 2-run ground rule double by Naoki Aoki. It'll be Gomez, Davis, and Betancourt, 4, 5, and 6 here for Milwaukee. Foul.
Well, I'll tell you, this guy is maturing. His game is tightening up a little bit. And when we saw him early in Minnesota, it was just a wild, like, cheetah. I mean, that was about it. And boy, his game's refined, an all-star this year.
Started with the Mets, and no doubt about base hit here. 2-2 pitch. Good start here for Milwaukee.
Breaking ball from Joe Saunders. Gomez keeps his hands back and hits a lean to left field for a base hit. And this guy is danger. He can really run.
Brewers #1 in the National League in stealing bases. Those numbers on this ball club are sensational. Gomez is 29 out of 35. Segura is 32 out of 39. Aoki 16 out of 26. That's what happens when you get your power source unplugged. All those injuries. Injuries to Hart, Ramirez, and Weeks, and Ron being suspended.
Well, you got to manufacture a little bit. Speed never slumps. Of course, it's got to get to first.
That's right.
Can't slump, I guess, if it doesn't get to first.
Yeah, you got that kind of talent. Use it. Tigers have tied up the Yankees in the ninth, 3-3. Kansas City just hung a 6th spot in the home 6th in KC on Boston. Royals lead 9-6.
Can we say they're lurking
KC
in the wild card hunt? I think they are.
They made a very nice run. They're over 500 start today. 6 games over 500. And 4.5 back in the wild card race. There you go. Close to the National League, 103. Not a surprise to learn that with 2 outs in the ninth, some guy named Cabrera hit a 2-run jack off of Mariano Rivera.
That guy is unbelievable.
He really is.
He's got power all over the place, and he's got a great eye, and there are just no holes.
In the dirt. Mariners will see Detroit again for the last time. Wow, big 4-game series. Monday, the 16th of September through the 19th. Betancourt on deck.
And he's making another big run at the Triple Crown.
Yes, he
Chris
is.
Davis, of course, in a tree on the home run side.
Davis at 41 starting today.
He's going to have to chase him down.
To left field, backing up Raul into the gap. He's there. So that 3-1 offering. Davis is retired. There's summer fun to be had at Safeco Field with Keith Banks Run Around the Bases. Join us at every Sunday home game this summer, where all kids 14 and under will be invited on to the field for the post game to leg one out around the infield, just like their favorite Mariners. Next event's coming up Sunday against these Brewers at 1:10. Get your tickets. Join in on all the fun. Log on to Mariners.com. Chris Davis retired. Brings up Betancourt. Strike one on the uni. Struck out first time. Give you another idea of how good Cabrera is. A few pitches before he hit the home run, he took a foul tip off his knee and had to get medical treatment. Then he hangs in and hits a cutter out.
So setting him up for something in, maybe. A little drama before I get the pitch again. And hit it. I mean, the guy's hitting 360. Of course, won the Triple Crown last year. And he can't run. I mean, that's 360 is all.
Ooh, that eats up Seager again. That ball's live. They're going to wave the runner around. Here he comes, and Raul holds on, didn't have a play. The speedy Carlos Gomez scores on that play. 3-2 Milwaukee. So that'll be an E5. no RBI. And the Brewers are in front again. That's a third error tonight, second by Seager.
This ball's hit hard, no doubt about it. And just Kyle got a little bit of a funky hop. This ball kicked right on him a little bit. You see him trying to shift over to adjust. Well, that's a tough error right there. And I'm a pitcher.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, fan interference for sure there.
Gomez, who can fly, kept on running. Bill, make that Tim Welke on your right. A little consult with the crew.
It has a lot to do with where Gomez was.
Yep.
They have to get some help, or he needs to get some help on that to decide whether he should go back to third base.
And here comes Ron Roenicke.
That way, Robbie Thompson, get out there and do it. Do your thing.
Oh, he clearly touched it, no doubt about it. Stopped the ball. And Raul went out. Ball ricochets. Now he's got to change direction. Boy, this kid can fly too.
Oh boy, he can pick him up and put him down, can't he? But he clearly was not making the turn at third when that ball was touched.
Right.
So he's got to go back to third base. That's the right call.
So second and third for the Brewers here in the fourth with one out. Ron Roenicke, a Mariner.
And certainly he's arguing that the ball wasn't, if it wasn't touched, the ball was still, he would have still scored. But
Roenicke in his third year as manager. Played 59 games with the 83 Mariners, hitting .253. He wants that run badly. And he just got run by Dan Molina. Fighting for that run. Every run is worth its weight in gold, especially when you're having the year they're having at 49 and 66, 21 and a half, back last place in the Central in the National League.
I mean, certainly Ron is making the point. You're talking about one of the elite runners in the league that scores on this play no matter what. It feels like the run's been taken away from the Brewers.
So ball's on the left side, runners on the right. Here's Gomez. He's even breaking down right there. And then now he sees it. Good job by Gomez. He sees it. Boy, he gets in a high gear in a hurry.
You can see the other gear he shifts into. No doubt this guy can flat out fly. But ball's interfered with. That's just the way it goes right there. Back to third.
And Dan Molina, after having heard a magic word or words, runs the skipper. Part of the 84 National League champion San Diego Padres. Second time Roenicke's been run this year. Brother Gary, a fine outfielder with Baltimore and several clubs. Well, here's Jeff Bianchi. One out. Runners in scoring position, second and third. We're seeing a wacky game, Mr. Kruger.
Hasn't been a real pearl of a defensive game, that's for sure.
The Mariners came in tied for sixth defensively in the American League. Brewers dead last in the National League.
The Mariners were really in the top 3 or 4 all year. It's only been of late that they've slipped a little bit.
About last week and change, but maybe less than a week.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2 to Bianchi. Throw it out to third. Gomez back.
Quintero and Blanco, man, they like to throw. And they can throw.
They're going to
These
catch
guys,
somebody.
I'll tell you, they have done a great job.
Who knew, right?
They've hit in the clutch. They throw. They're elite throwers. I mean, even in you know, I'm not trying to put Quintero in the same age group as Blanco, but we kind of group them together.
Wow, the 34 and 41. There's a little simpatico there.
I've just been
2-2.
Really.
Hey, I just like. Hey, good for the old heads. Go get them. Go get them, guys. 2-2 to Bianchi. There's Henry.
2 grand slams.
That's
unbelievable.
It really is. 2-2. Franklin Morse split the difference. Run's going to score easily. That's Gomez. And the Brewers lead it 3-2. A little parachute dunk shot by Bianchi that gives him his 18th RBI. Down the third goes Betancourt.
Change up away, pretty good pitch. Bianchi not trying to do too much, which is protocol here, but certainly not a well hit ball, just really good aim, and dunks it in front of Morse.
First and third, 1 out, a run in. Scooter Gannett. Strike one. Scooter reached on a throwing error by Nick Franklin his first time. Little breaking ball fouled into the mid of Quintero. 1-2. It's off the plate. 2 strikes.
Well, it's been tough on left-handers, only hitting 220 off them, so good opportunity to maybe get a strikeout here.
One and two. Two-run double by Aoki in the third, and now Bianchi with an RBI single in the fourth. 3-2 Milwaukee lead. Kyle Seager drove in both Mariners runs with 2 outs in the third.
Mariner defense playing back at double play depth. The way this game's been going, I think they can. Robbie can see there's going to be runs being scored in this game, so Joe's got a chance where a ground ball could get him out of this thing.
One-two pitch.
Matt doing a good job fighting off an assortment of breaking balls. You see the arrays of pitches that Saunders, you see the one slider down and away that he took, otherwise pounding the zone. Maybe time for fastball in here. He's been staying on that breaking ball pretty good.
Swing and a miss. The strikeout for Joe Saunders, 4th of the night. Here's Angie Mente.
Guys, thanks. Of course, the trade deadline has come and gone, but it doesn't mean that you can't still make a move. And today, the Rangers do. They acquire Alex Rios from the White Sox in exchange for a player to be named later, or cash. Rios hit .277 with 12 home runs and 110 games with the White Sox this season. Remember, the Rangers lost Nelson Cruz to 50 games with ties to the Biogenesis Clinic, so a big outfield boost down in Texas, gentlemen.
And they pick up, I think, all of his money, too. So Kenny Williams out in Chicago, one of the GM and the VP, pleased with that deal.
Yeah, I think that was part of the hangnail, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted to take his contract, so nothing moved, but Kenny played the Riverboat Gambler, got what he wanted. Relief.
Martin Maldonado, the hitter. Delman Young was DFA'd by the Phillies, and who takes his place? Casper Wells. He's worn multiple uniforms this season, starting with the Mariners.
Well, Casper's versatile, and he can play all three outfield spots. Has a real good arm, so that versatility keeping him alive in the game.
Maldonado, the sixth man to the plate here. Check swing, foul ball, 2-1. Josh Reddick, 3 home runs today for the Athletics. Went at Toronto 14-6.
Talk about a big pitch count for Loesch last inning. Well, they returned the favor on Saunders. 26 chucks in the 4th inning. Yeah, that's what the A's need. They need to get him going. They've had
down the line, trouble if it's fair, and it is into the corner. Here is Miller with the relay play at the plate. Got a chance. No, sliding in safely is Jeff Bianchi. A 2-run double by Martin Maldonado. 5-2 Brewers. RBIs 18 and 19 for Maldonado on his 7th double.
Off-speed pitch here from Saunders. High changeup. Maldonado able to stay back long enough and hooks it down in the corner. Just draws chalk. Perfect aim. And Bianchi all the way around from first to score, despite a pretty good relay throw, just a little bit high by Miller.
Bottom of the order getting it done here for the Brewers. 2 hits for Maldonado. Driven in 2. The Yankees got a hit and an RBI. Gomez got it started. He's their cleanup man. Now back to the top of the order, Naoki Aoki.
He jumped on the first pitch, hit a double. Back in the 3rd.
Two-out bunt attempt goes foul. Certainly not a standard issue play you see here in USA baseball in major leagues. Do things a little bit differently over Japan, but hey, if it gets down, it works.
Well, you know, I mean, it's you got a guy at second base with 2 outs. You're supposed to drive him in. That's the deal.
Mm-hmm. Aoki, a .329 hitter with Yakult in Japan. 7-time All-Star over there. 6-time Gold Glove winner.
Well, he's done a good job. You know, he just puts the ball in place, sprays the ball around. He can run a little bit.
Club ball 1-2. Tough 4th inning for Joe Saunders. Quintero going out for quick chat.
The pitch count builds for Joe Saunders. 30 pitches. That's a lot of work in 1 inning.
Love to get a strikeout ended right here. It's 2-2.
It's interesting. You wouldn't think about Milwaukee being a place where a lot of Japanese players have played. This is the 6th guy.
2-2
from Japan.
Ground ball down to Franklin. Rose out of Aoki. 7 minutes of the plate, 3 runs on 3 hits, an error, and a man left. Milwaukee with a 5-2 lead. Time now for our AT&T Trivia Contest. A good question. Ken Griffey Jr. hit 351 home runs during Bill Clinton's presidency. Which player hit the most home runs during a presidency? Yeah, Jimmy XX Fox. That's Franklin Roosevelt. So that would have been 32 to 45 those years. Babe Ruth, Woodrow Wilson, 12 to 20. Williams Truman would have been 45 to 52. And Musial, 53 to 60. We go with Jimmy XX.
Roosevelt was in office for so long.
Exactly. So we go with Jimmy AA Fox.
That's where we go.
We'll both go there. With the A's and then with Boston. Mariners trail by 3, 1-0 to Michael Morse. Morse struck out on a 1-2 pitch. Was back in the second. Mariners runs coming into third. 2-run, 2-out single by Kyle Seager. Morse trying to regain that home run hitting hot streak that he had early on in the season before he subsequently got hurt. 1-2 pitch. Couldn't hold up.
Yeah, he's missed a lot of time. He hit that one off his hand, and that slowed him down.
He hit the quad.
Then he had the quad that he tried to come back and play with, and then eventually had to go on the DL. So it's been a fragmented year, and I think the tendency is to try to do too much, right?
Down the line, foul ball. Yeah, this is the Mariners' 115th game. He's playing in just his 65th game. Two balls, 2 strikes to Michael. From Kyle Lohse. Lohse 6'2", 210, out of Chico, California. 34 years old, 35 on October 4th. Three-two. And Morse to the board. Second walk issued by Lohse. Second inning in a row. The leadoff man has worked the walk. Raul struck out in a 2-2 pitch. Got a 4-game hit streak record. So popped up right in front of us, but below.
Now, Raul's picked it up lately. I mean, he had that dry spell right out of the break. I mean, he was so hot. It's like, why did the All-Star break can't have to come? Because he was just unreal. And then came out slow after the break. And as you mentioned, started to swing the bat better of late.
41-year-old sensation, let me tell you. The first half that he had. Upstairs.
Even though Kyle Lohse is up 5-2 in this game, it is not a comfortable 5-2. They've swung the bat good against him, and he is pitching, I would say, carefully.
Boy, that fastball had some extra hop to it, didn't it?
Beat Raul upstairs again.
That is his 4th strikeout. Second time getting Raul. 1 down here in the 4th.
Purposeful pitching upstairs. That's the 400 level class. We've seen Iwakuma do that so well. And particularly when you can paint and make pitches downstairs with soft stuff and you can upshoot somebody, that 92 looks a lot faster. It's a really good pitch.
Smoke worked the walk. First time.
Justin seen the ball good off this guy. Took that pitch right there, walked the first time.
One and one.
Big swing right there. That was a not getting cheated swing.
Great crowd here tonight. 34,827. Fouled into the glove of Maldonado.
And Lohse kind of working the top of the zone against again, Justin started with a breaking ball and then kind of speed things up. 2 fastballs above the hands. Doing it again, going above the hands.
Strike 3 called on Smoltz, so back-to-back strikeouts for Lohse's 5th of the ball game. Here's Angie Mente.
Guys, a really busy night around the AL West this evening. The Angels topping the Indians thanks to a 3-run blast from Josh Hamilton. And then in Toronto, listen to this. Josh Reddick homered in 3 straight at-bats to power the A's to a blowout 14-6 win. And deep in the heart of Texas, the Astros start out the game beating up Matt Garza. But right now, Rangers on top there, 7-4 that game in the bottom of the 8th. Dave?
Boy, that's a lot of work. All right, Angie, thank you. We're going to see plenty of Texas. What a road trip the Mariners have in front of them beginning Tuesday. 3 at Tampa, 3 night games. 2 night games and a day game at Texas. 2 night games and a day game in Oakland.
Test. Big test.
For sure. Inside to Saunders. Tampa Bay right in the thick of the American League East, 2 back of Boston starting tonight. Texas started today tied with Oakland. Hit a long way and foul. 1-2 to Saunders.
Hanging breaking ball right there. I'm trying to leave Earth with that hanging breaking ball. Another upshoot right here. Fastball above the hands.
Boy, he's liking that and making all kinds of hay as he strikes out the side after a leadoff walk to Morris. 5-2, Kyle Lohse, the Brewers. Today's Tracer Technology is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Spectacular night here this Friday here in Seattle. Summer's greetings to wherever you're watching us here. Mariner Baseball. We get a look from Lookout Landing here. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger, and the Root Sports crew here in Seattle with the Mariners down 5-2. It's not been a good night defensively, Bill. 3 errors for the Mariners.
Uncharacteristic.
Leading to, what's that, 4 of the runs. Jean Segura, Jonathan Lucroy, Carlos Gomez.
Just amps pitch count. Obviously adds stress and tough to pitch around all those mistakes. I mean, Joe Saunders is not a big strikeout guy.
Through the hole, a base hit on a 1-1 pitch to Segura, who's now 1 for 3. Bring up Jonathan Lucroy.
Well, that's how you lead the National League in hits right there. Use the whole field. Nice piece of hitting by Segura going the other way with that sinker.
If it weren't for the fact, you and I talked about this before, and that they're dead last place in the Central, a lot more people would know that Segura leads the National League in hits.
Yes.
Started today with a 4-hit lead over Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds. Runner goes. What a jump. The great throw, safe.
I was just going to say he's going to get in the starting blocks no matter what the score is.
Stolen base for Segura, his 33rd.
Takes off on first movement. Quintero makes a quick release throw, a bullet down there. Segura just too good of a jump.
Averth Cabrera with 37 leads the National League. Sterling Marte with 33, and now Segura with 33. Gomez right behind him at 29.
The National League's got some guys that can fly. We've seen Sterling Marte for the Pirates. He can pick them up and put them down.
Both Marte, Segura, and Gomez have a chance to make a run at the stolen base title with Everett Cabrera. He's done because of the biogenesis scandal, the suspension. Brewers #1 in base stealing in the National League, came in with 103.
And they led the league last year. So this is part of their MO. Lucroy having a good offensive year. We talked about his home run power. He's tied with John Buck of the Mets for most RBIs by a catcher. So having a real good offensive year.
Taro and Saunders working to get on the same page.
They've had a lot of guys at second base. It's time to change the sequence. Speaking of the Brewers, they had the best guy ever at taking signs from second base, Paul Mulder.
Oh, I believe it.
That wasn't even fair.
Hall of Famer.
He was so good. He could figure out the sequence in a heartbeat. When I was pitched, I just felt like stepping off the mound and just letting Paul go to third. Just go ahead. Just go to third. I'd rather have you at third. You can't look at the signs. He's a great player.
There was nobody else in second place, right?
Yeah, he was the best. Really, really good. And a phenomenal hitter.
2-2. Full count to Lucroy with Carlos Gomez on deck. Payoff at 3-2. Bouncing ball to Miller. Keke out at first. Down the third goes Segura. 1 out. Runner at third. So we check out our Sterling Bank. Nobody works harder for you. How about Ken Griffey Jr. during his playing career? Youngest to reach 250 home runs. Ditto 400. And youngest to reach 450. Finished with 630, sixth all time.
So funny. For the longest time, he'd always say he wasn't a home run hitter. I'm not a home run hitter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, when I played with him in '91, and he started to become a breakout offensive player, he hit 100 RBIs and 22 home runs. And he hit a lot of balls to left center. And at the time, you weren't thinking he was going to be a home run king, really. You just thought he was going to be a superstar player, maybe could lead the league in hitting, hit a lot of doubles, hit his share of home runs, but not 40s and 50s like he ended up doing.
What do you figure? He lost close to, 5 years to injuries.
Yeah. Wow.
They're telling him, he finished with 630.
Yeah, he's pressing. He's got a chance to kind of press. Well, certainly Ruth and definitely Ruth and certainly Aaron can put a press on.
How about these are the wonder years? You could have run up about 3-4 more of those. Look at the Ribby totals. You kidding?
Wow. Scary.
Yes, sir. Way outside. Walk issued to Gomez. 2000, he hit 40 with the Reds, and then the injuries, well, it just became a plague. What some spectacular years.
And he came to play. It wasn't just the one side of the game. It's run him down at all costs in center field, let me tell you.
Chris Davis, 0 for 2. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Don't forget, tweet us your favorite junior plays and one of the most popular. Show them tomorrow. Joe looks like he's lost a little rhythm there. A little feel.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about now. Nobody at second. I mean, obviously, this isn't a team that we've seen a ton of, so there's probably a need to discuss, I guess.
Brewers with a 5-2 lead. 1 out, runners at the corners. Inside, Brewers 8th in batting in the National League, 10th in runs, 7th in hits, 4th in homers, 13th in doubles, and number 1 in the major leagues in stolen bases. Is Erasmo Ramirez has turned skip because of the day off. He's winding up.
And since they're skipping him, that's a good call. Get him out, keep him going. He's been throwing the ball really good.
Two-0 count. Sixteen pitches this inning.
Yeah, that pitch count is creeping. Almost 90 pitches.
Chris Davis, part of the revolving door for the Milwaukee Brewers as they try to replace Ryan Braun, suspended for the rest of the year. Here's the 2-1. He did go. 2-2.
Quite hold up on that fastball above the hands, and I kind of think the bat tells you everything. So he looks bad on that pitch right there. I want to try to go fastball in, try to beat him inside. That's just how I would think.
2-2 count here to Chris Davis. Runners at the corners and 1 down. Runner goes at first. Throw down the second. It is not in time. Stolen base, Carlos Gomez, his 30th.
Not much Quintero can do there.
So stolen bases, 2 of them here in this inning, Segura and Gomez. And now a 3-2 count coming to Chris Davis. World of trouble here for Saunders. Infield in close and walked him.
Wow, where's that?
Back-to-back walks. They're loaded up. Here comes Carl Willis. Time for a couple of good swing thoughts here.
A little bit of time to regroup for Joe Saunders. He's had to work awfully hard this evening, and of course buying a little time for Erasmo Ramirez to get ready. He's a starter, not used to warming up quick in the bullpen.
The Scappi Rated telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. So the Milwaukee Brewers here in the fifth have them loaded up, one out, trying to build on a 5-2 lead. Former Mariner Yuniesky Betancourt is going to be at the dish. A strikeout, reached on an error by Seager, and later scored in the fourth inning.
And one thing we do know about Uni, he likes to hack. Not going to walk much. So you can expand on him if you get ahead.
He likes that ball up. There you go. 5 career grand slams. 1 this season.
316 plate appearances coming in, 10 walks.
Popped up. No play for Quintero or Smoke.
I'm not sure he got the 10 walks in any one season as a Mariner. It's actually become a more patient hitter, Dave.
Yeah.
Now, you can't walk off the island. I mean, these guys, they got to swing the bat. They come to play, they swing the bat. They're not going to wait around. Well, we keep showing this labor. Poor Joe Saunders having to work hard.
1-1. Deep to left. Raul running out of room. It is gone. A grand slam by Yuniesky Betancourt. 9-2 Brewers. Uni's 13th home run. 3rd career grand slam. 2nd this year. Using 42 RBIs. You know, being a former Mariner, you know, he totally loves this.
Pretty sweet moment for Yuniesky, that's for sure. Got a breaking ball up in the count, up in the zone. And Yuniesky puts a nice swing on this thing. Sends it into the netting there, right below the hand-operated scoreboard out there in Edgarland.
A really bad night for Joe Saunders. A special moment for Yuniesky Betancourt, the former Mariner, taking big-time glee.
A lot of mustard there, don't you think?
So Joe Saunders is chased in a large way. Erasmo Ramirez takes over. 5th inning, a 9-2 Brewer lead. Well, Joe Saunders, this was the end of his night. Yuniesky Betancourt enjoying this trip around the backs, looks into the Mariner dugout. Still got some former teammates in that dugout. Saw Bryce Harper get hit for a lot less than that. His next time.
I was just going to say, you know what the inside rules are. Careful where you flaunt the flaunt.
Yeah, it was
a lot of mustard on that hot dog there.
The Tehran kid, Julio Tehran for Atlanta, gave up a home run to Harper the other day.
Yep.
Stood there, looked at it, flipped the bat. Next time out, kapow! Bench is emptied, a lot of jaw jacking, nothing really happened. But Ramirez, Uni had an August 27th of 09 had a go-ahead home run, beat the Mariners back in Kansas City. Let's look at Erasmo Ramirez out of the pen here.
Erasmo, you see the numbers are not good, but he's been pitching better with each turn. His turn in Baltimore, I thought he pitched really good baseball in getting that win, Dave.
Reduced the walks. The walks have continued to
which was his story last year. I mean, he had 16 innings, only like 12 walks. So he's a control guy. Has a good arm, good sinking fastball, good changeup.
Jeff Bianchi 2-2 pitch, fouls it off. What an inning. Man, Joe Saunders done after 4 1/3, 7 hits, 9 runs, 4 earned. Defense didn't help him at all tonight. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. 2-2. Ramirez runs a full count to Bianchi with Scooter Gennett on deck. Through the hole. Snared by Miller. He's got no play. Base hit. A 2 for 3 night for Bianchi.
Here's just C&I base hit in the hole. Good effort by Miller. Just doesn't have any ability to throw him out. We got to keep playing the game, Dave. I mean, the Mariners came back from 7-2. In the years past, they were dead in the water, so never say never.
7th man to the plate here is Gennett. Fouls it back. Going to drop for a base hit. Inning continues. Only 1 out. Hey everybody, tomorrow Ken Griffey Jr. goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Get here early. Festivities at 5:30. Tom Gorzolani and Sashi Iwakuma, your pitching matchup. Ceremony at 5:30. Look for gates to open about 4:30. So get here early. It is a sellout. Tigers tied the Yankees in the 9th at Yankee Stadium. In the 10th, Brett Gardner, game-winning single to win it. Rodriguez 0 for 4, struck out 3 times, had some yays, a lot of boos. As in authentic Bronx cheers.
Yes. Pretty aware of that there, Dave? Familiar with it?
Oh, yeah.
Or Philly, you know what they are, right?
Center field for Saunders. Right off the bat of Maldonado. Runner tags, going to third, got to get down. He's in there safely. They incorporate speed as a big part of what they do. Jeff Bianchi.
He runs pretty good. He came around, scored from first on that double. Here you see Saunders is.
So the 9th man coming to the plate as we get back to the top of the order, Naoki Aoki. Got the scoring started, top of the 3rd with a ground rule double that brought in 2 runs. Up and in. Good evening. My name is Ramirez.
Nothing wrong with that. Time for some feet to move, I think.
Couldn't agree more. Way out front.
Well, he's got a really good changeup. Well disguised. Had Aoki way out in front.
Pitch outside. Two and one. Ramirez on in relief of Joe Saunders. Runners at the corners. Hit the other way. Seager can't get it on a tough bounce. Another run scores. 10-2 Milwaukee as Aoki picks up an RBI. His 3rd tonight. Second base hit. Scoring easily is Bianchi, and going first to 3rd is Scooter Gennett.
Fastball out and away. And takes a page out of the Ichiro handbook there. A little slapper the other way. You see Seager making a tremendous effort on this ball, but he's playing more toward the hole for Aoki.
That thing hits the top spin once it hit. So 10th man to the plate here for Milwaukee as we play here in the 5th. It is not going well for the Mariners. Strike one. Fireworks, but we didn't expect them, certainly not at this volume, from the Milwaukee Brewers. Gene Segura, got a 1-1 count.
This Milwaukee Ball Club, as you can well imagine, when Braun's suspension hit, they've only in 18 games, they're 8-10. They've only scored 67 runs, which is just a little over 3 runs a game. So they're not exactly been an offensive juggernaut.
So true, so true. 49 and 66, and they have had their heads handed to them by Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis, the top 3 teams in their division, going combined 9 for 23. Part of their woes with all the injuries, etc. 2-1. Miller is double play. Take that, beg your pardon, but behind myself, there's a get the force. Big inning, 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 2 left. Brewers 10-2. 10-2 as we revisit the AT&T Trivia question. Ken Griffey Jr., 351 home runs during Billy C's presidency. Bill Clinton, which player hit the most during the presidency? Bill and I both went with A, Mr. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and James XX Fox. Survey says, indeed, Jimmy XX Fox with the A's and the Red Sox. 353. He had, 535, I believe it was. Wow, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in office.
Couldn't get him out of office. No, I mean, with all due respect, he was a tremendous part of our history.
Deep into the corner. Fair territory, one out. Here's Angie Mente.
Guys, you know the California League is known for having high-scoring affairs. Back in June of 2009, the Mavericks actually lost a game 33-18. I don't think there's any way they're going to drop this one tonight, but you never know in the California League. 10 runs in the first, followed up by 10 runs in the second. Nathan Melendrez starts the game 4 for 4 with 4 runs. Patrick Kivlahan, 3 for 4, 4 RBI, and Steven Proscia, 2 for 2, 5 RBI. He left the yard as well. All that by the third inning. How about this right now? 22 runs. 22-4. Unbelievable, guys.
Bossy fired up. Get that thing. Get ready to get out of here.
There's an EP going on in that game.
Wow.
Folks, if you don't know what the EP, that's the extra pitcher. That would be the position player of choice.
Who was it? Somebody in the Cleveland game. I think it was Rayburn. Down the line.
Yeah, Rayburn came in and pitched good.
Of Miller. And Brad Miller with a one-out double, his second hit. It's his 8th double. And to that very point, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Josh Harrison, a position player, is pitching in their game. They're getting their heads handed to them.
Yeah, they pop up every once in a while.
Yes, they do. Pirates down 10-1, top 9 to Colorado. Here's Gomez on the run. No, he dropped it, and the out will stand. It was on the transfers. I watched Tim Welke, third base umpire crew chief. The out stands. It was on the transfer when he dropped it. 2 down. Tagging and going third is Miller.
Gomez lining this up. Clearly secures the catch. It's only on the transfer that he loses the baseball.
So an error, first one on the Brewers. Like that second, beg your pardon. Gomez had an error back in the third inning as Kyle Seager stands in. First time he's at the plate since his 2-out, 2-run single in the third. Tied the score at 2-2.
Loesch has been pounding Seager in with sliders and fastballs. And finally did give him something out over the plate that he hit for a base hit, a changeup last time out.
A rough 3 innings for the Mariners, giving up 2 runs to Milwaukee in the third, 3 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth.
And they got that big shift going on. 3 on one side of the infield for Seager, a guy I think that can hit the ball all over the ballpark.
Pulls it right into the shift. And that throws him out. That'll do it. No runs, 1 hit, an error, and a man left. It's all Milwaukee, 10-2. Say thank you to members of the U.S. military with a great ticket offer. At all Sunday through Thursday home games, men and women of the armed forces receive $5 off select view or $10 off select main level seats. To take advantage of the EQC military special pricing, simply show your military ID at the Safeco Field box office. Work to do for the Mariners. They need to hold down Milwaukee the rest of the way. It's a big lead. They've scored in the last 3 innings, 2 runs in the third, 3 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth. It's at 10 men to the plate in the 5th inning. 5 runs on 5 hits. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. Rosmo Ramirez on in relief of Joe Saunders, who went 4 1/3, 7 hits, 9 runs, 4 earned. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Here's ahead 0-2. Bouncing ball right to Nick Franklin. 1 out. Lucroy 0 for 4. Bring up Carlos Gomez. Made a couple of errors tonight, but he's also scored twice. 1 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base.
You certainly get the sense of the dimensions this guy brings to the table. Outstanding speed. And the power numbers are pretty good.
Jumping out of his shoes. 1-1.
High slider on the inner half, and Gomez not getting cheated right there.
We've seen a lot of games with Ramirez. What are your thoughts on him as he continues to grow here? Gets deeper, gets another appearance under his belt here.
Well, I like the makeup. I mean, he's got experience. He's a strike thrower. He's got a good moving fastball, a better arm than probably people give him credit for. He's got a good changeup. It's a matter of experience, of understanding how to put the pitches together. I'm not too sure I love his slider. I maybe like to see him maybe develop a curveball, something with more contrast to it. Although his changeup is very good. Just a quick thought, but again, you know, command is a big deal, not walking people. But overall, I like him.
Just joining us, 10-2 Milwaukee. Yuniesky Betancourt with the big hammer down in the 5th with a grand slam. 3 runs driven in by Aoki. The Yankee has an RBI, and Maldonado's driven in 2. This is Chris Davis. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Helmet comes off. 1-1.
I don't know. People spinning out of their shoes, out of their helmets. A lot of pimping on the bases. I don't know. Just random thoughts, Dave.
From an old school guy.
Just saying.
Strike 2.
It's when the hair on the neck starts to come up a little bit. I don't know what to tell you.
I've talked to various coaches around, like, don't get me started on that. I'm with you. I hear what you're saying, but don't get me started. Guys of your generation, our generation.
Yes.
It's a different code back when you guys played.
I just think it's not you know a head hunting contest. It's just you know, bring fair warning to the game and move some feet.
Right. Two outs, nobody on, and a 2-2 count. Strike 3 called. That'll do it. A 1-2-3 6th. For the Mariners, they'll have 4, 5, and 6 coming up. Morales, Morse, and Albanez with plenty of work to do. Today, USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad, and a special salute to Technical Sergeant Donald Kitchens. Surprise homecoming tonight. He and his family before the ball game. Yuniesky Betancourt, the former Mariner, a grand slam in the 5th inning in which Milwaukee sent 10 men to the plate, scoring 5 times. Morales 0 for 2. Crowd on hand here tonight. 34,827. Fireworks display coming up. Big show after the game as Carter Cap seats up. And we will have complete fireworks coverage right after the ball game. Brad and Dave Valley will walk you through. Ball short right field to Gannett, second baseman, 1 out. Let's take a look at our Land Rover scores from around the American League West. The Angels 5-2 on top of Cleveland. Oakland, boy, they got 3 Josh Reddick home runs. And Texas, Beltre continues to go nuts. 2 for 4, 3 runs, a 9-5 Texas win over Houston.
He's found himself a home down there, hasn't he?
Oh my goodness. Player of the month in July. Morris, nice sliding grab. Fine play by Jeff Bianchi, 2 down. Take a look at our DirecTV AL West standings. Athletics and Rangers both win tonight, so that's a push right now. Mariners 12 back. 1 game lead on the Angels and Astros. Pretty much playing to prediction.
The push toward a Hundy and more,
Yeah,
I think.
Been there, done that, sadly. Breaking ball to Raul. Ball 1. He struck out twice tonight.
Laddering Raul with the fastball. count. Do a little back legging right here. 2-0 fastball.
Took it 2-1. Fastball drives it straight away center field. Camping under it, Carlos Gomez. A couple feet on the track, and that'll do it. Lowest 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 5 in a row. He's got a huge lead, 10-2. Carter Capps is the new pitcher, third tonight for the Mariners, Bill.
Well, we've seen Carter go down to AAA and come back, and his last outing he showed an impressive changeup. Went a couple of innings, struck out a couple of guys against Toronto, and you see the numbers, and his numbers against right-handers are a lot better. It's the balance of being able to get left-handers out. That's the reason for working on the changeup, so we'll see what happens tonight.
Take a look at our Columbia Bank difference in the game, and one stroke here. Bill is off the bat of Yuniesky Betancourt.
Got a breaking ball down sort of middle in and put it out there in the Edgar's Cantina for a grand slam, and you know that Uni enjoying this to the fullest.
Absolutely.
I would say.
Yes, indeed. Third career grand slam, second this year. And Betancourt, he will lead it off here in the 7th. So Betancourt, Jeff Bianchi, and Scooter Gannett, 6, 7, and 8 here for the Brewers. Carter Capps first time around. A lot of trouble with lefty hitters.
Yeah, that's the story, and we saw him come back in his last outing, throw some great changeups. That's going to help to equalize that equation. But he's got a big arm, 95 plus, and a tough angle on righties.
Strike one to Betancourt. Off the fist down to Miller. That throws out Uni. One out as we take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. We told you about the impending road trip. It is rugged. At Tampa Bay, at Texas, and then when we're done at Texas, 3 in Oakland. Following that, the Mariners have a home day off and have the Angels in Texas come to town before hitting the road again. By that time, we'll be into September. Where's this season going? Hit foul by Bianchi. Yankee 2 for 3, couple runs scored and an RBI. Crowded him 1-1.
A little backup slider right there, I think. He didn't really finish.
Two and one.
Carter's come a long way in a short period of time. We saw him last year, a little bit of a crossfire in his delivery, a lot of fastballs, and we've already seen him develop 2 new pitches since then.
Fastball, straightaway center to Saunders. 2 outs.
So I guess the point I'm getting at is I think a very, pretty inexperienced guy, played at a very small college, switched positions. So he's still kind of green to the game, but he has a lot of desire to get better. So that's why I think, the jury is way out on this guy. I think he's going to get better. I think he needs to get some kind of a 2-seam fastball, get a little bit more movement, get a tighter slider. He's already working on the changeup, so he's on the right track.
Plus arm, plus arm.
Oh yeah. We can never take that away from him. That right there was nice. That looked like a 2-seam fastball. Had that good sinking movement. That's what he needs to develop. Sort of look at the Jeff Nelson one. Sort of see what that looks like.
That's not bad.
Sweep and breaking ball, and have that running fastball that runs away from left-handers and in on right-handers.
Punch foul.
Good changeup right there. Good movement.
So big fireworks show coming up after tonight's game. Tomorrow, Ken Griffey Jr. goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Program starts at 5:30. Get here early, get comfortable, because it's going to be a sellout crowd here at Safeco Field. Plenty of electricity. A lot of your favorites are going to be here. Dan Wilson, Jay Buhner, Randy Johnson, Edgar Martinez, Alvin Davis.
Who's who?
Truly. Puts it in play. Seager. Ooh, safe. He took that extra crow hop and it cost him. There's that speed of the Milwaukee Brewers. These cats can run.
Gannett was getting a running start out of the box on that pitch.
Hey, Mariner fans, make sure you join us for another Coors Light Silver Bullet Saturday. Be one of the first 200 fans to enter the pen for early happy hour. That's at the Rail Bar, and you're going to get a free Silver Bullet Saturday t-shirt. It's going to get you extended happy hour pricing until first pitch. Plus, if you catch a specially marked Coors Light Baseball during Mariners BP, you're going to win tickets to an upcoming game. Don't miss the next Coors Light Silver Bullet Saturday. It's coming up August 24th against the Angels. So a base hit to Scooter Gannett. It's his second hit tonight. Reed Stoninaro's been on base 3 times. Martin Maldonado, 2-run double and an infield hit. He's had a good night. Good pitch by Caps, 1-2.
.96 in that spot. That's an out every time.
Foul back. Top of the 7th, 2 outs, a man aboard. And a big Milwaukee night. 2 runs in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th. Highlight of that inning, the grand slam by former Mariner Yuniesky Betancourt.
Good spot right here to try to add to your breaking ball. I mean, just try to throw it as hard as you can. Try to hit the plate with it. or hit just the outside of the part of the plate away. Just try to make it spin as hard as you can. This guy's in swing mode right here.
2-2 to 1-2 to Maldonado.
Perfect. Almost had him right there. That was a great pitch.
Two outs and a 2-2 count. Struck him out. Good pitch by Carter Capps. Gets out of the seventh inning stretch coming up here at Safeco. Maybe the Mariners for the second game in a row can put on a big rally, although time is running short. Brought to you by Washington's Lottery. Last year, Washington's Lottery turned 28.6 million Washingtonians into winning heirs. They can do the same for you. Thanks to Washington's Lottery, winning heirs are made daily. We look at Lake Serene. You want to stretch those legs out near Stevens Pass. That is a wonderful place to do it. The scenery is just gorgeous. Good fishing out there. Now indexed in the background. Now about getting some runs here. Mariners on the short end. 10-2 to the Milwaukee Brewers. Smoke to lead it off. Looks at strike one. Dave Sims, Bill Kruger with him. Kyle Lohse, 6 strikeouts. He's walked 2. This one off the fist, popped up foul. Mariners only runs a 2-out, 2-run single by Kyle Seager in the third, and that tied it at 2-2 from there. Milwaukee added 3 in the fourth. The Yankee with an RBI single and a 2-run double by Maldonado, and then a grand slam by Betancourt in the fifth. Smoke is gone. Strikeout number 7.
Pretty consistent pattern you've seen Lohse. Leads that slow breaking ball out there, kind of get you on that speed level, and then loves to pitch slow and then come back hard late with the ball above the hands, as he did to Smoke right there.
All of his strikeouts have been swinging, and I think 5 of them have been just what you talked about, right above the hands. Michael Saunders, infield hitting a strikeout.
Do that when you're 18 to 26 first pitch strikes. That's right in the happy zone where you want to be 60% plus. That's the winning number in first pitch strikes.
Loesch coming off a 16-3 year with the Cardinals last year, a 2.86 ERA at 33 starts. Workhorse.
Guys had a real good career. 125 wins, 13 years. Very solid.
Last 2 years with the Cardinals, he went 30-11.
How good are the Cardinals to say sayonara to this guy, huh?
Yeah. Cardinals right now have some issues with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who started today with a 4-game lead.
I don't think the Pirates are going to fold as they have. They're legit.
Three and two here to Saunders. Fly ball deep down the line. And it is a foul ball. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Ken Griffey Jr. goes into the Mariners Hall of Fame. The center field gates open at 3:40 p.m. Center field gates at 3:40, and the other gates at 4:10. Ceremonies for Jr. begin at 5:30. Be in your seats. The show will be terrific. Trust me. Good stuff coming up tomorrow, and Jr. will speak to the crowd. I'm telling you, probably be able to hear the roar from this stadium all over the state of Washington. Off the fist again, foul back. And we look forward to having Jr. on the air with us here tomorrow night. Talking about the Pirates, they had won 5 consecutive games, and they really got worn out by Colorado. 10-1 final in Colorado. There's the NL Central standings. The Pirates well above 500, looking for their first winning season since '92. Saunders draws a walk. So that's a third walk issued by Kyle Loesch. Hey, Root Sports is celebrating Ken Griffey Jr.'s induction into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Special tribute. You don't want to miss it. Join us as we recap the kid's career with some of his greatest moments. Be here for all the action tomorrow, beginning at 5 p.m., presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino.
What a great swing.
Thing of beauty.
Just watching him. Unbelievable.
Quintero 0 for 2. Lined out to right, flied out to right. Looks at strike one. One to Humberto, who's 6 for 18 with a homer, 2 RBIs against Loesch. 2-1. Goes to right field again. And caught by Aoki. Throw back to first. Saunders is in safely. Checking again with Angie Minto.
At first you don't succeed, try again. Well, if first you don't succeed, ask the audience. And that's what we're doing, because we cannot come up with a top 5 Ken Griffey Jr. moments. So we are asking you to tweet us your favorite Ken Griffey Jr. memory using hashtag #Root4JR. So Root4Jr. And we'll feature the fans' top 5 during tomorrow's 1-hour pregame show on Root Sports. Coverage starts at 5 o'clock, followed by the live ceremony for Junior's induction into the Hall of Fame. So again, hashtag Root, #4JR. Guys?
All right, Angie, thank you. And don't forget, Junior, talking about Halls of Fame. Big one, Cooperstown. He's eligible in 2016. I think you should start saving now. Up the middle, top spin, gets through. Saunders will go to third. Throw to third, not in time. So a little something here with 2 outs. Red Miller with his 3rd consecutive hit. He's 3 for 4.
This guy stays up the middle the other way so well. And with his speed, he's going to beat this ball out no matter what. His third hit of the game, Brad Miller, done a great job since coming up to the big leagues. I don't know if it's the weather, Dave, but this field is playing faster than I think I've seen it ever play.
Fair point.
Don't you think? I mean, we're seeing a lot of balls that have a lot of kick on them.
How about the game the other day before we had the break?
Bouncy,
right.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of balls down the third. On Wednesday's game, we saw that. Seen a bunch of those today. There's Nick Franklin, 0 for 3. Not anymore. That's going to get down. Saunders scores, and holding at second is Miller. So a base hit for Nick Franklin. Mariners on the board, 10-3, and for Nick, it's his 34th RBI. Saunders scoring easily.
Franklin jumping on the first pitch, gets a fastball, and this guy's got a nice looking stroke, doesn't he? Real strong from the left side, lines it into right field for an RBI.
Pitching coach Rich Credit's coming out. Alfredo Fagaro warming up. So Loesch in his last 2 outings, he went 5 innings against Washington and no decision. At the Cubs, 6 innings for no decisions. And the 2 spots before that, he beat San Diego going 7, and he beat Miami going 6. Nick Franklin now with an RBI single. It's back-to-back games with him driving in a run. Got a triple on Wednesday. Broken 0 for 27. It was his first big league triple. They got the shift on again for Seager. They're moving at third baseman back a little bit closer to the line, a couple steps. Inside, ball 1. Seager delivered a big 2-out, 2-run single on a 2-2 pitch in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, made Loesch work through all of his pitch repertoire. Ended up hitting a changeup for that base hit.
Inside again, 2-0. Wednesday, the Mariners were left for dead against Toronto. They were down 7-2 after 3 and battled back. 1 in the 4th, 6 in the 5th. Hold on to win 9-7. See if they have another comeback in them. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Loesch still got some life in his fastball. Man, he went at the bottom of the zone there on his 105th pitch.
Two and 2. Milwaukee doing all this damage without the core of its team. Ryan Braun suspended for the rest of the year. Ramirez hurt. DL. Ricky Weeks on the DL. Corey Hart. Ramirez might be back in a couple of weeks. Weeks and Hart are done. Seager's got a 2-2 pitch.
There was talk of Ramirez possibly playing in this series, but I know they've backed him out of that. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I'd be surprised to see him. 2-2 pitch to Seager. Puts it in play, pops it up. Third baseman Bianchi is there. Mariners get a run on 2 hits. No errors, a couple left. We're through 7 and a 10-3. Brewers lead. Baseball on Root Sports being brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box. Go big at participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax. Beautiful day to be flying into SeaTac. You're in right there. Hit that big plane down. Good stuff. Well, we get some great sunset shots as we came home on the last road trip.
Yeah, it's been a great stretch of weather.
Wow. It's been magnificent. Okie Aoki leads it off against Carter Capps. Looks at ball one as we start the 8th. Top of the order here for Milwaukee. Three RBI night for Noki. Ground rule 2-run double and the third RBI single in the 5th. I'm told that he is a huge star, not in the Ichiro dimensions, but not too far off.
Well, you can tell he's an accomplished player. This guy flat out doesn't strike out, sprays the ball around. Nice player.
Don't see many guys up on the bat like that either, huh? Puts it in play. Seager right there. One down. So one out here in the 8th. Waiting in traffic and paying for parking every day as Bush League. So step up to Sound Transit today. Visit soundtransit.org for details. Gates open 3:40 at center field tomorrow. 4:10 for the rest of the ballpark. Get here early for Ken Griffey Jr. going into the Mariners Hall of Fame ceremonies, which begin at 5:30. Beat the crowd because it's going to be a sellout. I would imagine for a lot of Mariner fans, there's going to be a lot of tears of joy seeing Junior back and looking at the old highlights and everything.
Have to be too many unbelievable memories.
Almost hitting Gene Segura. Segura with a base hit, a stolen base, and a run scored tonight. Taking a blow is Quintero. It has been open season. My goodness, Rick Griffin. Bobby Thompson up to the top of the step. Quintero, tough guy. We saw Dale Scott have a ball ricochet off of Quintero and hit Dale flush to the forehead on his mask in Wednesday's game, a blow similar to that. And I saw C.B. Buckner and the rest of that crew was going through the parking lot. Buckner and Quinn Walcott and Todd Titchener. Dale had a similar problem last year, missed some time, and they were sending him down for an eval down in Phoenix, and they expect him to miss 7 to 10 days. Don't mess around with that kind of stuff.
The gear is there, but the ball's got a lot of velo on it.
Smoke puts that one away for out number 2.
Now you're going to have to check your fillings, I think, Quintero. Man, oh man.
Checking that jawbone up top. My wife, the physical therapist, what is it, the mandibular up top right here. Sides, and you know how if you yawn, it seems like it comes out of socket, and that's what that feels like. I can't believe I remember the term.
Yeah, well,
I get a couple points when I go home.
Yeah, there you go. Somewhere along the way, you participated in some kind of quiz where you were the one with all the answers.
I may have got one right.
That was well done. I'm impressed.
0-1 to Lucroy. If you play football, if you get blindsided, that's happened to me. You get blindsided, that thing can go out. You got to get it back in. I'm sure that's what Quintero is going through. Boy, that was such a direct shot. 10 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors for Milwaukee. 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors by the Mariners. Kyle Lohse has been outstanding tonight. 7 strong innings for the Brewers. Here's the 0-2. Weak swing and a miss. And that'll do it. Strikeout of Lucroy. Second for Carter Capps. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Kyle Lohse really teamed the Mariners through 7 innings, a 10-3 Milwaukee lead. Dave Sims, Bill Krueger with you. Here's what Lohse did here tonight, Bill.
Impressive. I mean, he had a lot of runs to work with, a lot of first pitch strikes. He showed us why he was so good last year with St. Louis. I mean, great command of off speed, the ability to shift gears and throw that high fastball. A real lesson in pitching by Kyle Lohse tonight.
Alfredo Figueroa takes over.
Young man with a good arm. You see the numbers there. He's got 52 punch-outs in 64 2/3 innings. Obviously still a work in progress on learning how to pitch in the big leagues.
First hitter, Kendrys Morales.
Plus arm with a slider.
Yes, indeed. Morales, Morse, and Ibanez. Here in the 8th. Some bum out to the second baseman, Gannett. 1 down. Today's whiff brought to you by Head & Shoulders with a hint of Old Spice.
Take a look at what Kyle Lohse was able to do in tonight's ball game. A lot of that climbing the ladder. Nasty slider there to Michael Morse. Again, more ladder action to Raul Ibanez. He got him a couple times up there. Climbed the ladder twice on him. Again, same type of pitching there against Justin Smoke. And Michael Saunders to boot. So this guy, again, a lot of slow stuff early, a lot of hard stuff late.
Fouled off by Morse. Michael, a strikeout, a walk, and a ground out. Going against Alfredo Figueroa, 6', 175. Another foul. 29 years old, out of Samana in the Dominican Republic. Signed by the Dodgers, amateur free agent back in 04. And he has been with Detroit in 09 and 10. Missed the 11 and 12 seasons. Another foul there by Morse. Tigers let him go December of 2010, signed with the Brewers January of this year. Tapper down to Segura. 2 outs. Yuniesky Betancourt at first base. MLB.TV celebrates 11 years. To catch the rest of the 2013 season in HD quality, watch every out-of-market game live on more than 350 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Here's Raul Ibanez. Couple strikeouts and a fly to center. Pitch in the outside corner. 1-1.
98 with a slide ball. That'll keep you around for a while. Lots of chances. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I'll say.
I mean, that's not the whole story, but more chances.
Back with another strike. So 1-2 to Raul. 2 out, nobody on.
This guy here, no stone left unturned as far as getting himself ready to play. This guy is the best. If not right with Edgar, just right behind him as far as preparation for the game, and that's why he is so good at this age.
Right, I forgot Edgar Martinez. He'll be here tomorrow for Ken Griffey Jr. going into the Mariners Hall of Fame. I know it's short one guy. Two and two. Upstairs. Mariner runs tonight. Seager, 2-run, 2-out single in the third, an RBI in the seventh by Nick Franklin. That's it. Smoke's on deck.
Well, there you see the array of pitches that Figueroa is offered up to Raul Ibanez. Made a couple of nasty pitches away, but he's bouncing the breaking ball. You know, Raul is sitting heater right here.
Payoff at 3-2. Bounce it off the plate. Betancourt flipped the Figueroa, dropped it. Raul's aboard. That Baltimore chop right off that plate. Like it was going 2 stories high, for crying out loud.
Yeah, a lot of bounce around home plate here. The chopper by Raul, but you know what? Runs hard, forces the hurry right here. That in-between play for the pitcher, a tough one. And Raul, I mean, for me, that's a base hit, but we'll see how they score.
Scored at E1, saying that Figueroa should have, if he catches the ball, gets the out. So Eric Charles,
he's trying to find the base and the ball at the same time. Don't know the scorekeepers actually tried to do that play, but
6 errors combined by these two teams, 3 apiece. Here's Smoke, walk and 2 strikeouts. Milwaukee scored 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth. Mariners 2 in the third, 1 in the seventh. One.
Justin being challenged by some big fastballs tonight. He's a little half a click slow. He's a little short of the baseball right here with this guy.
Hit pretty well to deep left center field. Going back, Gomez on the track, jumping up. Can't get it! Two-run homer for Justin Smoak on Oppo. Nicely done by the big fella. That's his 12th home run. RBIs 29 and 30. Got it on a 1-1 count.
Got the bat head out. I mean, I think this young man has a lot of power up the middle of the field, and I like that because, you know, he's got a much better chance of seeing the pitch, let it travel a little bit.
Take a look at our money tree in-time play, and that indeed it is.
Fastball middle away, and Justin puts the hurt on it right here. Backspins this thing out to left center field, and this year, folks, you're rewarded for hitting the ball out there.
That would have been
those where balls go to die in the past.
Would have been an 8-year scorecard a year ago.
Plus, we have warm weather. That's a difference maker as well.
This stretch that we're going through right now in Seattle, best weather, lower 48, best weather city this summer, without question.
Getting the bat head out on that fastball. We talked about it. A little short of the baseball. Didn't try to pull it, and you see the results. A little bowling for beer cups out there.
10-5 ball game. Michael Saunders batting with a 2-1 count.
That way, Smokey. Way to keep it going, bud.
Bouncing ball down to Gannett, has been busy. Throws out Saunders. That'll do it. Smoak highlights the inning with a 2-run homer. His 12th homer of the season. Hitting streak now at 9 games. 10-5 Brewers. Put the Mariners to a 10-5 deficit now. Make sure you make plans. Taking a Mariners game with family and friends this summer at Safeco Field with a group offer. You'll not only enjoy Mariners baseball under the sun, but you'll also receive a scorching deal. Tickets as low as $8. Groups of 20 or more receive special pricing. So log on to mariners.com/group. Do it right now to get your summer date and savings. See the kiddies with their dads having some laughs here at the ballpark. Nothing funny about the score, though. The Mariners down 10-5 with one more shot coming up. See if Lucas Luetge can hang a 0 on Milwaukee's board here in the 9th.
Lucas was a real nice find last year off the Rule 5 from Milwaukee. Did a nice job of getting left-handers out last year. This year has been a little tougher. But I still like what I see. I mean, he really was able to throw his breaking ball for a strike last year, and that's been a little bit more challenging this year. But I think the pieces are there, Dave. I mean, he has a good arm, can get the ball up in the low 90s. He has good spin on his breaking stuff. I think there's still a future there for Lucas Luetge. He pitched very well his last time out against Toronto, 2 scoreless innings.
Caps just went 2 scoreless First hitter for Litke's Carlos Gomez, followed by Chris Davis and Yuniesky Betancourt. 4, 5, and 6 for the Brewers. Breaking ball, he's out front, 0-2.
Nasty spinner right there. Let's see what he does here. Bounce that breaking ball. This guy will swing aggressively.
Lays off of that one. Tampa Bay beating the Dodgers in LA 6-1. Top of the 8th. Giants in Baltimore 2-2. Top 10 in San Francisco. Minnesota sweeps the White Sox. What happened to that club?
They got old.
Wow.
Paul Konerko's best days are past him. Adam Dunn
Rios
as well. Rios is now not part of the picture.
Texas.
Of course, Peavy is now in Boston. I mean, they're disassembling and going to reassemble that team now.
That 2-2. Back up the middle. Franklin, good range. Plant, throw. Got him. Nice play. Nick Franklin, well done. Got that shortstop arm. Valuable going to his right.
Ball hit hard up the middle. This time Franklin gets his weight on his back foot and able to get something on the throw. And not too many second basemen can throw with this young man. That is a laser beam over to first.
You got a fast runner.
See McDonald Super Mole. We see the action that Franklin puts on that baseball. Wow.
It's impressive.
It's quick and super slow.
You're right. Here's Davis, the hitter. One. Kansas City beats Boston 9-6. Texas 9-5 over Houston. Cardinals shut out by the Cubs 3-0. Pittsburgh drilled in Colorado 10-1. Minnesota sweeps the White Sox 7-5 and 3-2. That's in Chicago. 1-1. Foul ball. A's 14-6 winners at Toronto. Detroit beats the Yankees 4-3. National League, Washington 9-2 over Philly. Oh yeah, Angels beat Cleveland in Cleveland 5-2. Cincinnati 7, San Diego 2. Atlanta continues to roll 5-0 over Miami.
71 wins. And I believe they are the youngest team in the National League.
Strikeout victim, Chris Davis. He's gone. As the Atlanta Braves win their 14th consecutive game. There's Betancourt. Strikeout. Reached on an error by Seager in the 4th and scored. Hit a grand slam on a 1-1 pitch in the 5th. And grounded out to short in the 7th. Leaving the Mariners after the 09 season. Played just 63 games that year under Don Wakamatsu. Been a regular for 4 years. Never had a double-figure home run campaign for the Mariners. In Kansas City, his second year, 2010, he had 16, then went 13. And with the home run tonight, he's got 13 home runs against 4 Milwaukee Brewers. 0-2. Swing and a miss. It's a uni a lot of Mariner fans remember. To the bottom of the 9th. Down 10-5. The Mariners will have 9-1-2 coming up.
G. Mentink with you here at the Ford Sports Desk. And coming up on the postgame show, it's a special one because we are going to be covering the fireworks live here at Safeco Field. Here's something else that I need to tell you about. We need you to tweet us your favorite Ken Griffey Jr. memory using hashtag Root4JR, and we're going to feature the fans' top 5 during tomorrow's special 1-hour pregame show on Root Sports. Coverage for that, remember, starts at 5 o'clock, followed by the live ceremony of Junior's induction into the Mariners Hall of Fame. It's so hard to come up with one, and guys, I hate to keep going back to it, but for me, I'm thinking just senior and junior going back to back. It's one of those moments I'll never forget, and I don't think will ever be duplicated.
I would agree with that, but whatever is chosen, sit back and enjoy it. But you're right, the father-son back-to-back.
Never see that ever again.
That's not going to
No.
I mean, without looking at the candidates, that almost has to be number one, just because of the uniqueness of it.
Right.
There's some spectacular plays, some big hits, etc. Father-son back-to-back. Even when you think about it, that happened a long time ago.
Father-son's hard enough as it is.
Yeah, right.
Then get him on the same team and go back-to-back.
Once in a lifetime, you saw it here in Seattle. There's Quintero leading it off. So the new pitcher for the Brandon Kinsler. Pounded down to the shortstop. Segura throws over, 1 out. Get back to the top of the order. Brad Miller, 3 consecutive base hits, 3 for 4 with a run scored. Got a double and 2 singles.
He's proven to be a very good offensive player. He got his average up over 270. Uses the whole field. Has shown us some power as well. So an awful lot to like.
That's a sparkling play by Bianchi. 2 down.
He's played a nice third base tonight.
Yes, he has. Soft hands, no panic. Aramis Ramirez, longtime third baseman, he's out. So a lot of guys trying to make names for themselves in this Milwaukee ball club.
That's the silver lining. You see young players, and some of them will surprise you.
Nick Franklin. And that'll do it right there. As Bianchi throws over, and no doubt about it here as the Milwaukee Brewers come in, led by former Mariner Yuniesky Betancourt. He hits a grand slam that highlights the 5th inning, and the Mariners go down by the count of 10-5. Bill.
Not much to do with this one. Tough to put any lipstick on that pig. Too many errors, bad defense, forced Joe Saunders to throw too many pitches. Coast of monster blast by Betancourt that blew it wide open. Silver lining, Miller's 3 hits. Certainly Justin Smoak's opposite field home run keeps his hitting streak alive. Some good things to point at, but otherwise this team needs to play better defense. That's a paramount, and they didn't get it done tonight.
Sure did. Mariners dropped to 3-5 for the month of August. Don't forget Ken Griffey Jr. Day tomorrow. Gates open 3:40 in center field, 4:10 the rest. Fireworks coming up next. Dave Valley, Brad Adam. They'll take over right after these messages.